Over the last few months, CBS News, along with YouGov, has been tracking Americans' views on the Trump administration for our CBS News Nation Tracker poll. Nearly 2 months in, CBS News elections director Anthony Salvanto is here to share the findings. Anthony, thanks so much for being with us.
Hey, Elaine, how are you?
I'm well. I'm really interested to have you explain the breakdown of this poll. Explain to us, first of all, what groups people were separated into, how it is that they break down, because it's not your typical for or against. You've gone a little deeper here.
Right. Thanks, Elaine. What we're trying to do is get beyond just dividing people by Democrats and Republicans. So what we're doing is asking them, how do you feel about the Trump administration? What are you hoping for? What don't you like? And really asking what they want and what they want to see. So by doing that, we ask people to separate themselves, really, as they answer these questions, into levels of support and opposition to the administration. And what you start with, Elaine, is there is, of course, that core support that the president has, and he's had these folks since he started running for office. We call them the believers because they believe so strongly in what he'll be able to do. Now, they're about 20% of the country. He's got more supporters than that, but these are the strongest ones. They say there's Trump supporters, period. And one of the things we found this month, Elaine, is that they are so confident. They're very, very confident in what they think he can do. They also trust him above so many other sources for accurate information. So, for example, this is the group that feels that he was wiretapped. There are other groups who are much more skeptical. They also feel that the Congressional Budget Office, the folks who evaluate how a legislation might cost or what it might do, doesn't work in a nonpartisan fashion. So all of those things in that, they put their sort of singular trust in him and also in his ability to make deals and also, finally, to stand apart from the Republican Party. They've always seen him as sort of an anti-establishment guy, and so they still feel that way even as it comes to his dealings with Congress. They think it's all about what he can do and he can deliver, Elaine.
Well, Anthony, how do the people who are on the fence view the president?
Well, it's a little bit different, a little bit more transactional, Elaine, in the sense that they say they want him to deliver and make the economy better. So right now, they are still Trump supporters. And here's another fifth of the country. They are, however, as much as they like the economic news, they like the jobs report, these are the folks who also liked his speech to Congress, his address to Congress a few weeks ago, thought it was presidential. It's that kind of voter. But then in the ensuing weeks, they also have increasingly gotten a little bit nervous and feeling like the president's been distracted, not as focused. They don't like the tweeting. They don't like some of the other policies. They would prefer that he focused solely on the economy and jobs. So it's interesting when people say they think the president is doing a lot, and that's across the board, across all these groups, people do think he's trying to do a lot. It's not always necessarily seen as a good thing for these kind of voters who just want him to focus on that one thing, Elaine.
That's interesting. Let's talk about health care, Anthony. How do the different groups view this new bill?
You know, of all the topics, of all the things that we tested, this is one where a lot of folks are adopting a wait-and-see attitude, and that includes a lot of his firm supporters because they aren't yet sure what it will do for them. And, you know, again, back to this idea that it's not so ideological, it's more transactional. What will I get out of this? They, by and large, thought that Obamacare should be repealed, but it's the replacement that they aren't yet sure what it will mean for them and their health care. And so we see that wait-and-see attitude. In fact, it's interesting, especially among these conditional supporters, the more that they think the health care won't be good, that they think that they may oppose it, the more they get nervous or even pessimistic about the direction the administration is going. What that underscores for me, I think, is just how pivotal this legislation might be in the administration's political fortunes.
What about resistors, Anthony? We know they do not approve of the president, but what are their views on Democrats in Congress?
Well, they aren't sure yet that the Democrats in Congress are being effective at opposing the president, which is what they want. those Democrats in Congress to do. Now, a lot of folks in this group, I should say, yes, many voted for Hillary Clinton, many are Democrats, but many others didn't vote at all. And so one of the interesting things is we ask, well, do you feel more motivated now? Because that's one of the things Democrats have been saying, that there's this base out there that now that they oppose the administration might be getting more motivated. Well, you do see higher levels of that, at least self-reported, where people say, well, we're paying attention more to politics now, more to political news now. Some are even saying they're going to town halls or getting involved on social media. However, a lot of that is still confined to the folks within these ranks who did vote in 2016, and there's less of that engagement among the folks who did not vote. They're still out there, they're still opposed, but not yet fully engaged. So there's still some work to do there on that front for those resistors.
And Anthony, among all groups, how do Americans view President Trump's approach so far, particularly on legislation?
Yeah, there's this idea that does cut across all of them, Elaine, and they kind of want him to make him they want to see him be what I might call the deal maker in chief. They think that he should cut good deals, whatever works to get things done, and not necessarily listen to, and not avoid or go around his detractors. And that's been, of course, part of the president's branding. That's one of the things that he sold and said that he would do. So it might not be surprising that people are looking for that, but I think it also speaks to this idea of pragmatism that we've just consistently seen in all the poll findings, where people want things to get done and to work and really haven't been as ideological and as ideologically focused as you might think. And that's really one of the things that sort of underpins the president's support, and it's certainly something that they're still looking for as this legislative agenda starts to move forward, Elaine.
All right, Anthony Salvanto, really insightful look at how Americans are feeling right now. Thanks so much.
Thank you.